gold down there, Diane. There's gold down there.
You're like their number one favorite guy. Because you won them cash. Hi, and this is Secret Golf. We will bring you our tour report this week for the Wells Fargo Championship in just a little while. It comes out on Wednesday. I'm Diane Knox and I'm joined by Steve Elkington. And well, first of all, we have to look back on another debut victory on the PGA Tour. This time it was for Sam Burns at the Valspar Championship.
It was indeed, Diane. It wasn't too long ago that Sam Burns had a 4-shot lead with 8 holes to go at Riviera. Max Honma was lucky enough to beat Tony Finau in a playoff. And we thought, young Sam Burns, he plays so well. He's such a young star coming up on the tour. When will be the next chance he gets? And what I like watching about this kid, Diane, he's not afraid to get out in the lead and sort of stumble. But there he was Saturday, out ahead, finished up tied in the lead with Keegan Bradley, and then yesterday just poured on the gas, got his first victory. And I would, if he was on this show with us today, I would ask him, what did you learn from your defeats previously that changed the day for you?
I read something that Sam Burns has said that he tries to learn something new every day. So he's working on something every day. He's trying to make something even better. We've talked about him so much on the show. I think, you know, the very first event of the season, the Safeway Open in Napa, Sam Burns was firmly in contention. And there was, I think he was 54-hole leader and then didn't play as well on the Sunday. But as you say, we saw the same at Riviera. There's been a little bit of a pattern emerging, and you can tell that he's learned a lot, because when it came to yesterday, especially to have such a veteran like Keegan Bradley on his tails and Max Homa, as you mentioned, Victor Hovland was in the mix, but Sam Burns just seemed very composed and extremely solid from tee to green.
Yeah, and he's had 5 leads over 36 holes. And what I like about a young, almost a rookie, is he can get out in the lead. I mean, imagine what it takes for a rookie like a Will Zalatoris, who's another young guy that we're going to probably be talking about on this show. They get out in the lead. They beat every player, or they're beating every player through 2 rounds on the PGA Tour. Sam Burns has been in that position a number of times. Of course, we can break it down and tell you his swing is pretty much very stable. He's a long hitter, good putter, very aggressive. Of course, I've known a lot about Sam Burns. He comes from right down here in Louisiana. We've known about him since he was about 13 or 14 years old. So we know a lot about Sam Burns, just been waiting for him to put it all together. And I must say, Diane, I saw you on social media in front of that snake. How could you do that and post it? It was terrifying, Diane. You were at the snake pit.
Well, the snake pit was terrifying for a lot of people. It's a very treacherous 3-hole stretch. But yeah, I went down on Sunday and had a little day following my brother around with my boyfriend and my mum and dad. And it was a long drive for us to go down for one day, but it was good. And there was a nice little turnaround in Russell's game, which was definitely the sweetener to watch. But I love that course. I think it's a great tournament. And there was something like 101 hole-outs over the course of the 4 days, breaking a new record on the PGA Tour for the number of hole-outs. I saw 2 yesterday from Ian Poulter, who Russell was playing with, which was just awesome. He definitely knows how to get the crowd all fired up. But, you know, you talk about Sam Burns and the driver, and he is such a long hitter, but it was his second shot, his iron play, and those approach shots. We knew the scrambling was going to be an important stat. He just shone out to me, and it was absolutely no surprise that he went on to become the winner.
Well, it always is, Diane. It always is when we talk about handicapping. What does it take? Is it just long driving? Never. It's always about precision. In the end, that you're more precise than the other players. Very rarely do we see on the tour where we get a winner that wasn't playing superb golf with his irons. We talked about in our show last week for Innisbrook, we said up and down game will be the most important because everybody's going to miss the greens, but the guy who hits the ball the best with his irons will be the one to beat. And we've seen that footprint. We've seen it with Paul Casey and a number of players that play very similar style golf to the way Sam Burns did. To me, we didn't pick Sam Burns to win last week. We didn't even have him in our top 10, but Diane, he did exactly the format that we said it took to win. So there's something.
Exactly. And yesterday, on Sunday, the pin positions, the greens were so firm, and some of those pin positions were so tight to the edge of those greens as well. I mean, it was difficult.
We actually like it. Most of us liked it when the greens got firm, and it was very difficult because you saw what Victor Hovland did, shot a 6 under and zoomed up the board. And if you do have a day, Diane, where the greens are very tricky and you get off and get a good round in, you can go flying up that board and make a ton of cash. And it knocks everybody else off kilter. As you said, your brother thought maybe it's a little unfair in places, but the guys that have the most control made it look easy, and Sam Burns made it look easy in the end.
Yeah, well, we are going to be giving you our tour report this week for the Wells Fargo Championship at Quail Hollow in Charlotte, North Carolina. Well, some of the guys that we've just mentioned we're going to be talking about again on the show. We'll give you our full top 10, some sizzlers and some dark horse picks as well. Get in the game on the SG Tour Golf Gaming app and play 4-ball. It's a classic stroke play competition based on the aggregate scores of 4 players. Who makes your team? Well, pick 4 guys, 1 from each tier based on the current World Golf Rankings. Want a tip? You need 4 guys to make the cut. Get in the game on the SG Tour Golf Gaming app, available on iOS in the App Store.